Cheers, Bob. Thanks very much, mate. Cheers. Get yourself on while you're at it. Tea. Right, tubulars. So we're back our engine mount support on the right hand side now. So I'll show you what I've come up with and try and do next. Let's have a look. So the problem I have on this side is I've got no mounting bolts to mount a plate like I did on the other side. I've got some very small ones here, but I don't think they're going to be strong enough to take the weight of the engine. I think these were just like bracket supports or something here before, nothing really substantial. So I'll show you what I think I'm going to come up with. I've got 2 bolts on this side. I'm going to take a carport layout of this side, if you can see them there, and on the back side of the motor got 2 bolts that I've already started undoing here. See, this one's good. Look at this. This is a that one comes out. The problem I've got is with this top bolt, it's just a bit too long to get the bolt out. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sacrifice this bolt. I'm going to cut it down to get it out, and then I'll just buy or find another replacement bolt that will go in there. I'm going to mark it round the curvature of the motor there. I'm going to bolt the angle line to these bolts, and then I'll decide which way to bring the angle, whether I'll bring it this way or that way, and the same on this side. And then what that will give me then is the ability to bolt a plate on the front of that, so I can bolt it across. And then what I'll need to do is, for the umpteenth time, I'll have to put the subframe back in to see where the metal is going to come back up, where the motor mount is going to line up with the plate. Like I said, I've got to stay clear of the coolant pipes, and I've got a plug there. I want to stay those all clear. So that's my plan. Whether it works in theory or not, I don't know. I'll try to unscrew this bolt, but there's no way I'm physically going to get it out. I'm going to push it back in. I'm going to cut the bolt down and then take the 2 bits out. My angle bracket is now bolted in position. If you can see it there, my phone camera can't really zoom out very well. I think I may have to put a washer between the motor housing and the bracket, because I don't think it's quite flat. I think there's a bit of a ledge on there, and I don't want to keep shaving off too much metal there, because it will just weaken it all up. So I may just have to put a washer behind the top and bottom one. So what I'm thinking of doing is, once I get the front one done, I'll do that next, and then what I'll do, I can get a nut behind there and a nut there. So what will happen then is I'll make up my metal plate to go across the front, and it will probably just come. I was hoping to get a nut further up, but it doesn't look like it's going to be possible. So I'll get this one as high as possible here, and so I'll get 2 nuts on there, M10s probably. The 2 mounting brackets are now cut up, and what's that doing there? That bloody Bob, bloody wonky. He's obsessed with that. I might give him that as a trophy. So the 2 plates are now made up. They're cut and they sit nice and flat. I had to trim this one down slightly, but now I've got my 2 plates in position. They're all quite coarse at the moment, everything, but once all the welding and framework and it's all finalized, I'm going to trim off all the excess and round the corners off slightly, just to so it doesn't look so angular. Yeah, I'll probably and shave some weight, because it's actually quite heavy with all this steel now. So I'm happy with that now. Managed to get 2 good fixings on these. So I might rough cut a piece of cardboard now across the hole, get underneath, rough cut a piece of cardboard straight across and shape it round. I'm going to come round under the resolver plug there, then probably up slightly to come just under, trying to get as maximum plate as I can. Come underneath the coolant outlet hoses, and then up, and probably up an angle to get as much plate as I can to add some rigidity. And then I think once I've done that, once I've got the cardboard template, I might go ahead and stick the subframe back in again. I went ahead and bought this, seeing as I was going to do the subframe in and out 1,000 times. This is from Amazon. I think I paid £40 for it. It comes with 2 batteries. It's been really good. I was going to send it back because it was cheap. I wanted the Milwaukee version of this, but it was like £150, and I couldn't really warrant that sort of price for what I'm going to do. I thought this was going to be a pile, but to be honest with you, it's been really good. I'm really happy with this. One-handed operation. I thought, seeing as the subframe be going in and out half a dozen million thousandth at a time, then this would be a worthwhile investment. Plus, it's quite good for just taking the bolts in and out constantly. So this has been really good addition to the tools, this has. Happy with that. Moving on, so I'm going to get some cardboard cut up next, I think, and then we'll come back and see how that looks. With the template now, I've cut my sheet steel out now for this side of the bracket. Just going to go like that. So, I'm going to get under the car, I might bolt the angle frame bracket in, offer this up, and then I get the lovely task of putting the subframe in again. And then hopefully what I'm going to do now is mark it up so it's ready, so I can drill the holes. So I'll just square this up on the brackets, and then I'll get on and mark the hole positions. The mammoth task of building this mounting support on this side has become a bit of a ongoing issue now. I cut the template out, I don't know if you can see it, it's down the side there, for the plate for this side. Well, we finally got there, thankfully. I've bolted on so I've drawn a line there. I assume that's the bottom of the motor mount there, because I didn't want it to come any lower than the subframe. What I'm going to do, I'm going to clamp the plate to the motor mount brackets, the angles brackets, and then I'm going to mark up the fixing holes. What I'm probably going to have to do for this side is, once they're drilled out and I'm happy with them, I'm probably going to weld the nuts on the back side of this. I've got space quite high up as well there, all the way down, so even if they're just stubby nuts, she says, I'll be able just to bolt straight onto that. The angle brackets have been refitted now. The front, they've all been drilled out now. I've literally just pushed some bolts through. It's hard to get the angle here. So everything's sitting nice. All the holes line up. So we're making progress. We're getting there slowly. So the nuts are welded now on the back of this plate. So that can just be put back on now. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refit this back to the motor. So the plate is fully bolted now to our angle bracket. I still need to make an adjustment. This looks wonky to me, but I've put a straight edge on it and it is flat, but it looks to me like it's curving outwards. I don't know, maybe it's like an illusion. But my next concern would be when the subframe goes back in, I'm wondering whether when the new box section comes up, whether it's going to hit the bolts, but we'll see when the time comes. But that's finished now as far as I'm concerned with that plate. I might need to put some supports maybe. This is quite a long bit of plate and it's just perfectly flat, and it may twist, I don't know, may not. What I want to do now is what I started doing but I gave up with, is fitting and I'm going to drill out all the holes for the M10s that need to be. I'm going to button that up now as well, and then hopefully hopefully in the next video, hopefully then when I come back, the subframe will be bolted in position now, and then we can see where our 2x2 is going to marry up the didgeridoo on the on the Kizwoski. See you then. Thanks for watching. Don't forget your tea.